Okay. Why, thank you.
Morning. Have you ever stared at a man or woman in uniform and thought to yourself, what does all that stuff mean? I know that I have. My name is Matthew Gooden, and I've been in the U.S. Navy for 5 years. Before joining the Navy, I used to see men and women in uniform and think to myself, what does all the rank and insignia mean? It was all confusing. The uniforms look really cool, but I had no idea what it meant. Today, I'll be talking about 3 uniforms used in the United States Navy. The 3 uniforms I'll be talking about today are the Navy service uniform, the Navy dress blue uniform, and the Navy working uniform. I'll begin by talking about the Navy service uniform. The Navy service uniform pictured here is used primarily in an office setting, or in a setting where you'll have a lot of visibility with the public. The Navy service uniform has been in use in the Navy since around 2010, so it's a relatively new uniform. As you can see, the components of the Navy service uniform are a khaki top, a black pants, black shoes, black socks, and a white undershirt, and a black cover, or hat, as it's called in the civilian sector. The items that are worn on the Navy service uniform are collar device. This collar device right here is a rank insignia. It tells what the individual's pay grade is. So, for example, 3 chevrons means that an individual's in E6. 2 chevrons means that an individual's in E5. 1 chevron means an individual's in E4. The Navy service uniform is worn primarily by E6 and below personnel. At least this version is worn primarily by E6 and below personnel. Now we've talked about Navy service uniform, we'll talk about the Navy dress blue uniform, pictured here. The Navy dress blue uniform is used primarily for formal occasions, official ceremonies, and things of that nature. The Navy dress blue uniform is one of the Navy's oldest uniforms and has been around in use in the Navy since around the 1870s, with different variations changing over time. The components of the Navy dress blue uniform are a black top, a black bottom, also black shoes, black socks, a white undershirt, a white cover, and a neckerchief, a black neckerchief. As you can see, the Navy dress blue uniform also has different insignia. And I'll talk briefly about what some of these things mean. We briefly discussed the warfare medals. These 2 things right here are called warfare medals, and they're earned by completing different standards in the Navy's warfare areas. For example, aviation platforms, the surface platforms, and different platforms such as those. These ribbons are called personal ribbons. There are two different types of ribbons for the most part. There are personal and command ribbons, or medals. And personal ribbons are earned by a specific achievement for your individual self. Command ribbons are earned by being attached to a command and the command's achievement. As you can see, the Navy dress blue uniform also has the rank insignia found on this, with the only difference being a specific symbol right here, which denotes an individual's specific rating or job in the United States Navy. The Navy dress blue uniform also has a hash mark, which tells you how long an individual has been in service. So you get one mark for 4 years of service. I've been in the Navy for 5 years, so far I've had 1 mark. All right, so now that we've discussed the Navy dress blue uniform, we'll go on to the 3rd uniform I'll be talking about today. The uniform I have on right now. This uniform is called the Navy working uniform. It consists of a camouflage blue top, a blue undershirt, camouflage bottom, black boots, black straps to keep your pants rolled up and intact, and a black belt. The Navy working uniform is used primarily for occasions where the other uniforms will get soiled. So for typical wear and tear or everyday use. The Navy working uniform has been in use in the Navy since the late 2009. So it's a relatively new uniform. Some of the components of the Navy working uniform are it also has a specific rank insignia. It has the warfare devices like the other uniforms. Only difference is these are embroidered and taped onto the uniform instead of insignia that that can actually come off. All right. So just to recap, we discussed the Navy service uniform, which is used in settings, office settings for the most part. We discussed the Navy dress blue uniform, which is used primarily on official occasions. We discussed the Navy working uniform, which is used typically for everyday use. As I'm pretty sure you can tell by now, the Navy has many uniforms. And of the three uniforms, the Navy working uniform is my favorite. Reason being is that it's ease of use. It has less component parts than all these other uniforms, and you can just put it on and go. So now that you have you know a little bit about three types of Navy uniforms, next time you see a sailor, you can walk up to him and say the Navy working uniform is your favorite too.